El Maestro Speaks.
El Maestro Speaks
El Maestro Speaks.
Podcast.
All right, so how is everybody? Does it sound good? Okay, so yep. So yeah, another episode of the Maestro Speaks podcast coming to you wherever you are.
Little child, dry your crying eyes. How can I explain the fear you feel inside?
Yeah. All right, so how's everybody? Yeah, we never had like a lot of. There's like 2 weeks that we didn't have recording because, well, yep, work. Was it? Oh wait, I just want to have this one. Like, I don't wanna like leave this um not having a next episode, another episode for like 2 3 weeks, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. It's not, I don't know, it feels like something's not complete, like I didn't do something. There's that something, one thing's missing if I didn't do an episode for this podcast. So yeah, um, here I am talking to you guys. So this past week, what have happened? I think a lot of things happened, right? Here in the Cordillera, in case you didn't know, um, Cordillera, particularly Baguio and Benguet, was visited by a southern cowboy. They call him the southern cowboy, by someone who loves singing country music, like everyone else, or most of people here in Baguio. So yeah, that guy's ordered on Romeo Ogum. So yeah, too bad I was not able to watch his shows. He did a lot of shows while he was here. I don't know how long he stayed here. I think he stayed here for like a week, 2 weeks, or something like that. So stayed here, but not without controversies. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Shit happens, shit happens. And when they do, you have to be ready, So, yeah, just for those who doesn't know, or maybe let's just, before we talk about that, let's just tell the people what happened. So this guy, Romeo, is a country singer from the south, from Mindanao, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. So he became popular and gained a lot of followers from here in the Cordillera because, well, Cordillerans love country music. Most of them do. So he gained a lot of followers here, and he made connections with some of the vloggers here in Baguio City, and they planned to have a, like, what do you call that one? What do the kids call it these days? Collaboration. So they had a collaboration, and he came here and made some shows, and my God, yeah, I think a lot of people came to watch. So what they did is that they invited him to perform on some of what we are calling here a concert forecast. It's a fundraising activity um, uh, geared to raising funds for some people who are suffering from disease or those unfortunate ones here in the Cordillera. So they invited him to perform in those events, fundraising events. And yeah, the event did well up until the day he came here, or the week he came here, coincided with the celebration of the Ibaloy Day. The Baguio City Council created an event in Baguio. They call it the Ibaloy Day, commemorating the natives, the very first people who inhabited Baguio. They're the natives of Baguio. And yeah, he was invited to perform there. And let's just say, due to lack of coordination, or say, um, not all of us do have that kind of, or the sense of humor, right? So we don't have the same sense of humor. So he um, gave a joke, for lack of a better word. Okay. He made a joke in that event that made some people, disgusted, disappointed because of the joke that he did. Some said that, oh my god, this guy is a show off, braggadocious. Is that still a word? Yeah. Well, yeah. They said that he must apologize, and a politician, even, I think, what do you call it? When she created a resolution, declaring the singer Romeo are going to be declared a persona non grata in the city of Baguio. So, well, cut the story short, everything went well, and yeah, they had a conversation. Romeo apologized for his joke, and all is well. And there was this Ibaloy tradition. Oh, I forget the name. They call it sabusab, where just to add it here, the Ibaloy party financed that tradition, a ceremony, and they invited Romeo to join, and it's like a reconciliation party, reconciliation ceremony. Because there are some social media posts saying that Romeo was asked to finance the ceremony because you gotta buy something there, like native pigs to be butchered for the feast. But accordingly, he did not. It was financed by the associations of Ibalois, and the sabusab is intended to the Cordilleran handlers of Romeo, not to Romeo himself, because Romeo didn't know the tradition of the Cordilleras or the Ibalois. So yeah, that's what happened. Now, if you're going to ask me, um, what is it really, should we really be that sensitive? I would say, and this is my personal opinion, I would say, oh come on, it's a joke. Yeah, it is a joke. It is a joke, and it came through because of an audience. Accordingly, I was not there, I didn't see it, but that's what they said. So it is a joke. It was a joke. It's funny, though it is somewhat, what do you call it? well, to some women or some women, it is offensive. Well, and yeah, we understand that. And we also understand some people who took offense of that joke because I think the event is not for those kind of joke, you know. It's a commemoration of native people's way of life in the highlands. So we understand the ire. I understand the ire. Um, there are maybe some shortcomings that there are some things that should have done before he was made to perform in that event, like informing him that this is like about an event of like this and like that, and I think you're not allowed to say those things. You're not allowed to mm, joke below the belt because there are a lot of people here. Yeah, especially so that this is a concert for all, and there are children watching, things like that. So he should have been informed. Yeah, and yeah, of course, we can also say that the guy Romeo should have been asked also, right? Ask the organizers if we can do those kind of joke. But then again, it's the flow of the situation. If it really did, if the joke really did came out because of like because of an audience, then yeah, you really cannot control that one. But should have made it little say yeah, not so R-rated. Anyway, all is well. Everything is solved, and I think he was asked to perform here in Baguio, and I guess there are already some plans to for him to come back here and come to the other places in the Cordilleras to perform. So yeah, all is well, and everything is okay, a okay. Yeah. So you see what conversation can do to solve the problem, right?
Ay sikay sinisingit ko Naudi ka sa ayang tulagan.
Yeah, I keep on saying that we should like see or observe the context in which people said something. Um, because sometimes we are over policing words, over policing jokes being posted in the internet, and I think that would do more harm than good to us. It will harm our creativity, especially these comics or comedians creating jokes just to make us laugh. And yeah, um, we won't be able to have the artful or the freedom or room to like express whatever we have, whatever we are thinking, if we are being over policed too much. We are being um, restricted. There's a lot of restrictions on how we say things, how we do things. Well, you know, and the worst thing that's happening is that people, when people pile up on you, or like when you will be bashed for so much in the social media, like those people who are, you know, telling negative things about you, have never committed a mistake their entire life. Those who are bashing you, those who are critiquing you, have never done any mistake in their life at all. It's yeah, the very important thing is always in yeah, it's always being forgotten that every one of us makes mistake because all of us are human, you know. That's what's being left out here. And again, like I said, the situation of Romeo, what happened to Romeo here, was solved because of a good conversation. They invited him to explain himself. They explain themselves on what happened. They talk it out, and they reconciliated. And is that even a word? Yeah, and everything went well. So yeah, talk it out. Okay. Misunderstanding happens. Okay, shit happens. You know.
Take your love away.
Yeah.
Find
What else happened this past week?
oh,
Oh, by the way, have you seen this guy? I want to see if we can play this one. Let me search for it for a while. The Gasoline Boy. Oh, here we go. I want to listen to this and let us let us see. Okay. His explanation. So before that, I would just yeah, this past week, the oil price hike because of the war in the Middle East, or yeah, in Iran. It's affecting all of us. You know, yeah, war does not really bring something good in this world. Even if the war is not happening in your country, there's always the effect that will go to your place. The negative effect that will go to your place. Like yeah, in our case now, we are suffering consequence because of this war, and we don't know when will it end. And the last time I checked a while back, the gasoline station here in Baguio, the price of diesel is already at 91 peso liter. Yep. I got worth of 2,000 fuel yesterday, about worth of 2,000 peso fuel yesterday, and it's just way back when this did not happen, 2,000 will like yield 35 to 38 liters of fuel. Now it only went to 21. So just imagine that. And there's the projection that it might reach to 125 a liter. But well, a good thing happened. We came out of it is the good thing that came out of it is that the number of cars in the street was reduced. I just came from the auto shop a while ago to have my car fixed. Well, car for me now is very important because I have two kids, and and of course my wife is working. I have to bring them to the work, and I gotta go to my work afterwards. And that's very important for me, for us, for the family, and yeah. The road is a little bit clear this Saturday, so yeah, there's the positive effect here in our locality. But still, you know, if the price of the fuel goes up, everything goes up. You know, every price of each commodity will go up because the earth move because of the fuel. Markets, products move because of this fuel, and that's the negative effect. And yeah, let's just go back and listen to this.
Actually, hindi na yan makontrol ngayon ng mga DOA kung mag-increase man bawat litro ang mga gasoline station. It is because wala talaga supply unless the DOA will prepare the price protection sa mga gasolinahan. At saka, prepare din sila na dapat may mga consistent supply sa bawat gasolina. So that was the time na pwede sila magsabi na huwag itaas ang presyo. At the same time, wala nang dumarating na order from Middle East. So, alam din nila na hanggang April 15 na lang ang fuel ng Pilipinas. So yun na lang.
So sabi nila sir, hindi sila
Nawala. Wala na yun. Yun talaga. Wala tayong magagawa kasi wala tayong supply sa Pilipinas unless mag-allow ang Brunei at saka Malaysia. Pag allowed tayo magdala dito ang Brunei at saka Malaysia, possible ano tayo, pwedeng bumaba yung fuel. Pero let's say for example, basettle na ang sigalot sa Middle East. Aabot pa yan ng buwan bago mag-roll back ang fuel. Kasi matagal pa yan ang loading from Philippines to Middle East or from Middle East papunta sa Pilipinas. So doon pa lang tayo magkakaroon ng mga konting rollback. Pero as of now, nawala talaga. Yes.
Alright, so that's it. Yeah. And this guy became, his video became viral because he explained well the situation of the Philippines right as of this moment, the situation of the oil price hike here in the country. So for those who does not understand it, he just explained that the Department of Energy the government cannot control the oil price hike no matter what they do unless they can supply all gasoline stations here in the country. That's the only time that you can control the price of the oil. And they cannot do that because they have no resources for oils because of what's happening in Iran. Unless there are some countries that is or that are willing to give or provide supply for our country, then that's the time that maybe the oil price hike will be controlled. That's what he said. Now, this became viral because they compared it to the pronouncement of the executive office of the Philippine president, and they compared it to how he explained it, and they compared it to how the president and his people explained the situation, and people admired how technical and how clear the explanation the gasoline bay has given an explanation, right? So one thing that amazed all the Filipino is that the gasoline boy, he is a gasoline boy and he has that kind of knowledge, so he understands how the price of oil works. He understands how it is related to what's happening in Iran right now, and he understands it in a way that like many people wouldn't believe that a gasoline boy can explain it that well. That's again, and he was compared to the executive office. News came out that this guy is, a college graduate, a cum laude graduate from a university, and he's working as a gasoline boy, or a pump boy. Well, anyway, we'll go to that later. But with regards to the comparison between him and the pronouncement of the highest office of the land or of Malacanang, I kind of understand what's happening here because there's two things here. The gasoline boy, the one who just made that statement, who explained it so well, is just being honest. Just being honest too, and just said his observation, like his raw observation, when he looks at the data and what's happening, he just said it. And on the other side, the highest office or the president's office, the executive office, their goal when they're doing press release is to like pacify the people so that they won't go into a panic buying mode. They're trying to They're trying to like keep the public calm, but they're also not trying to promise anything that they cannot do. So they're threading a very thin line here every time they are like releasing press release with regards to the oil price hike. So that's why if you are going to compare the statement of the president to here's a statement, um, you can really see that the president's dilly dallying. It's still a word. It's just he's beating around the bush. He's he is not answering the question directly, and that's the reason he's trying to keep the country calm, that they won't go into a I mean a panic buying mode, that they won't, because that he was very careful that his statement will not result into a chaos. So that's the difference. Okay. So of course, if you're going to compare it to the honest observation of a citizen who was just asked to give his opinion with regards to what's happening right now, then of course the pump boy will come out is the better explainer of things, explainer of the situation, because he's not really thinking of what's going to happen if I'm going to say this, you know, as compared to the leader or the president. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not for this. I am not. I did not support the president for. Well, I'm supporting him as the president, but I did not vote for him. But then, I'm just saying that I understand where he's coming from. That he's really choosing his word to. He is really being careful so that his statement will not result to chaos or negative situation. That's my explanation there. Why there's that really totally different explanation from the government and from that gasoline boy or from that pump boy. Yeah, going back to that, right? I just told you that he graduated cum laude and he is working as a pump boy. He worked as a pump boy. Do you know that he is one of the, let's just say, millions of Filipinos here in the country who is or are considered underemployed? You know, so a lot of professionals here in the Philippines are underemployed, and he's one of them. Just imagine that he is a cum laude. He understands things. Just not that it's not that we're belittling pump boys, you know, but then just for that guy, he has enough education to be having a better job than what he currently have, and still he is there. The reason is, you know, sometimes in this country, in most of the time in this country, is that our system our system is not rewarding those who are able to make it after graduation. You know, like I said, he graduated as cum laude. But then, why is his job like that? Why is he underemployed? Because, you know, people here, most, let's just say most to be safe, not all, can get the job here not because of what you know, but because of who you know. So, using of connection is so common. It's so common here. That is why, you know, there's a lot of underemployment. The underemployment here is high because of that padrino system. Or you are hired not because of your ability, your skill. You are hired because you are the son of like this and like that. And regardless of what you know, it's okay. You can learn the ins and outs of the job as long as you'll stay here. Okay, we'll hire you because you're connected to like this and like that, or I will hire you. You will be hired because I have like a I owe you something, or I owe your family something. Things like that, you know. So that's the reason why we have this high rate of underemployment here. One of the reasons, not just that, but there's a lot of reason why we have underemployment. But that's one of it, you know. That is also the reason why a lot of professionals here chose to just go and work abroad, even if they don't want to, even if it hurts them, you know. But they have no choice. Yeah. In order to feed your family, you have to go out of this country, and that's the only way. That's the only way. If you can do that only if you have also, if you're lucky, you have the opportunity, and there's this, you need help. You need help. Just I just want to put it that way. You need help in order to get out of the country. You need financial backings because you need money in order to get out of here. So yeah, there's that. And will this change? We don't know. We don't know. But that is the reality for now. That's the reality for now. Even in business, private businesses, they do the same. Well, not all, but you can really say that um, if you wanna be successful, um, I don't wanna say it's impossible, but let's just say um, becoming a successful person here in the Philippines, becoming wealthy, or yeah, just becoming wealthy in the Philippines would require like four times the effort than when you go to other countries. Let's just put it that way, because everything you walk through here, everything you go here, you would be facing the wall. You gotta find ways to climb those walls. So yeah, that gasoline boy is one of the example of the reality that we're facing now in the Philippines, and that's sad, right? Yeah. Hopefully it will change, but yeah, we doubt it. I doubt it. Anyway, yeah, it's the gasoline boy. And speaking of freedom of expression, I just saw this a while ago. I just want to share it with us about this guy. I just read this today. It was posted today, March 14, 2026. Rightsreport rightsreport.org. So this is about a guy. His name is John Sherwin Felix. So let me just read it. So, Localpedia founder John Sherwin Felix challenges a cyber libel case filed against him over his critique of a government-funded book on regional cuisine. The case, his supporters argue, violates the freedom of expressions. So when John received the copy of Kayamangi, a kaleidoscope of Filipino flavors and food traditions, he was excited. Here was a government-published book devoted to Philippine culinary heritage, the kind of documentation work he had spent years doing himself through his research project Localpedia. The excitement did not last long. Within the pages of the Department of Trade and Industry publication, Felix found what he called grave errors, misattributed ingredients, distorted histories, missing techniques. He did what any researcher is committed to do to their to do their record would do. He wrote it all down and posted it publicly. Months later, he was served a subpoena. Felix is now fighting cyber libel charges against him by chef and author John Melcher, one of the book's contributors. On March 10, 2026, accompanied by his lawyer and members of the food advocacy group Gulay Na, he filed his counter affidavit. The case has since become a flashpoint in a much larger argument about who gets to correct the official story and at what cost. Research by Rights Reports Philippines for comment. Felix said, when he asked how is he holding up, I can say 100% okay because my livelihood and field work was severely affected because of this legal case. But thanks to advocacy group, lawyers, and locals from different Philippine parts of the Philippines, I am okay and I know I did the right thing, he said when he criticized the book. So, yeah. Cyber libel is like cyber libel. It's very difficult to explain. So, yeah, there is when you give there's that term libelous statement that you when you do it in a social media that will be libelous. You can be punished if proven guilty, and yeah. The thing there is, mm, I don't know if this this law. I don't know what this law is protecting. Is it protecting? It's supposed to be you should be creating a law for the people, right? But I think this is very difficult to explain without getting in trouble here. But it kind of looks like this law, the libel law and the cyber libel law, was created is a weapon of politicians, of, let's just say, allegedly corrupt politicians and those onion skinned people working in the government. Um, in a way, it is infringing on our freedom of expression. Um, I don't know if other countries have cyber libel laws or libel laws like that, but in my opinion, it does like infringe on our expression or in a way of expressing ourselves. Of course, you see, if you remove those laws, just uh, put it in a way that you will only be charged of a crime if your statement is inciting sedition or it is inciting a hate crime, things like that. But then criticizing people in a way you want to criticize them, that's okay. I think people would be more, creative on the way they're going to um, critique others, and you know, because his case is unique. He just criticized or he just pointed out the error of books published by a government, and now he is facing a cybercrime case, a lawsuit. So that is like a textbook example. Well, the government did not sue him. The person, the chef, sued him, but it's just like an example of weaponizing law. Instead of looking at looking at what he said, what he pointed out, they they sued him instead. So the reason why I want to share this one is it's a little bit disappointing on my in my opinion. While I was reading it, I was like, oh, so you don't like to receive criticisms now? I was like that. I was totally disappointed because what if, and take note, this guy is a researcher. He knows what he's saying. And you should have looked at his corrections. You should have looked at the things that he was trying to point out instead of suing him. So this really this is really, yeah, it's an example of using the law as a weapon. And yeah, cyber libel laws and libel laws are the commonly used weapon here in this country. And I think that has to stop. Yeah. The difficult thing, the problem here is that politicians and lawmakers are the ones weaponizing that law for their protection. So yeah, it's gonna be very difficult to fix that law. This is a glaring example. You cannot take the criticism. Are you kidding me? It comes with the job. You publish a book, criticism will follow. It comes with the job. And oh my god. So yeah, that's the reason why I want to take this out, share it with you. Yeah, you share what you think also about this. I'll be posting the link on the description of this podcast for you to read this. Yeah, it's really disappointing that, well, like I said, I've been saying this a lot. Life isn't fair, and all we can do is to survive. Go through it every day and pray for the strength so we can go through this, um, through this hardship, and look at it as a journey. Enjoy the journey no matter how hard it is. Like what we always say, okay, from the hardship there will always there is something good in it. Okay? From everything we do, there's something good in it. Okay. Bad experiences that we'll experience, there's something good that will come out of it. So yeah, that's it. And I think I'll end it here, and I'll be talking to you again next time. Yeah, hoping we can have conversation the next week. If not, then yeah, it will be all in April. Because we're having a lot of we're so busy right now because of this end of the school year um activities. Well, anyway, be talking to you soon, and goodbye. God bless everyone.